How's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampy's Workshop. Well, here we are for part 2 of our little series of getting the Husqvarna lawn tractor geared up, getting ready for summer. If that ever comes. But anyways, we're going to get at her today. We're going to adjust the valves and put some oil in the little old thing. And we'll see what happens. Come on over and have a look. So, I just want to make sure I know which way this engine turns. Okay, I know. Turns this way. And you know what? I'm going to mark that just because it's a good idea to mark things. Because as you get older, your memory's not as good as it once was. So I marked the rotation of this flywheel because as you get older, your memory's not as good as it once was. Did I tell you that already? So we turn the flywheel in the direction of rotation, and I'm not much interested in what's compression and what's exhaust and whatnot, but I'm looking for when pressure comes off both springs. So they're both high there and they're both loose. So I'm guessing that's pretty close to top dead center. And you see that they're loose. And also, when I wipe this off here, so I've marked the clearance of the valves here for future reference, because, like I joke about, as you get older you forget things, so I'm marking it again. It's a good idea. Maybe mark it in 2 places. I'm going to put it here. 0, 0, 5, and I'm going to put it over here. Well, that'll probably, yeah, right there. 0, 0, 7. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, 005, I've got a 004 here. I expect that'll fit. Fits with lots to spare. Here's a 006. You see what I'm doing here? 006. So I can force that one through. So the 6 is really tight, the 4 went in okay. So I'm going to say good for 005. Now for 007, the 006 should go in okay. And I'm calling it 006, it's 6 thou is what it is. Come on. Here it is. So the 6 is pretty loose. I think this is an 8. So the 8 goes in. So 7 thou, 8 thou, that's not bad. I don't think I'm going to bother adjusting those. If you did need to adjust the valves, then what you do is there's a nut right down here behind the rocker arm. Can't see it from the camera angle that I have. But anyway, this nut, you'd loosen that nut, turn this nut to turn this rocker arm closer to the head, and then that would change the amount of clearance in your valves. But my valves are okay, so I'm not going to make any adjustments there. So here's the valve cover, and the gasket, it turns out that was a gasket that was on the valve cover. And it's in pretty good shape. I don't have a brand new spare gasket, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a trick here. It's in good shape all the way around, so, and it's still pliable. Alright, that's the key, that it has a good seal all the way around the edge and it's pliable. So you, in a pinch, you can use this gasket again. And because like I could just take the time and order another gasket, but it would take a week to get it, and to be honest, I don't want to wait. So anyways, what I'm going to do is, I have this this form of gasket, Permatex gasket maker, I guess it is. And I'm just going to put a quick little bead around the edge. It doesn't have to be thick. So I'll just smear that around. Now, I'm no expert in this, right? This may be totally the wrong thing to do. And the next time I go to take this apart, it might be just a disaster. But at any rate, that's what I'm going to do. Just like that. The whole idea here is I want to make sure I have a good seal around here so that I don't leak any oil. If there are some mechanics out there, small engine repair mechanics that know about this sort of thing and that this is definitely the wrong thing to do, please comment below, because by the time I post this video and read the comments, it probably we won't have been running the lawn tractor, so I'll have plenty of time to come and take it off and correct my mistake. But for now, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Anyhow, we're going to put that back on here. Something like that. I'll put that back together. Okay, so like I say, if that is a totally wrong thing to do, then please tell me in the comments, because I don't want to leave it if it's not going to be the answer. But I've done things like this in the past and seemed to work out pretty good, so I'm hoping this is going to work out pretty good too. So just putting the cap screws in. I don't like to use the power tools to put them back in case you go cross-threaded. So I'm just putting the bolts in the socket and then threading them in. And I don't know about you fellas, but lots of times on these extensions, you can't get a good grip on them. So I just took some little of that grip tape that you buy, like the hardware stores, and I just put a little peel around the shaft on the extension, and then that gives me a good grip for turning it. You can get a little twist, some torque on it, because you can get a good grip on it. So we're just snugging these up, and you don't want to make them too tight. Just you want to make them tight enough so that they won't leak. So we just check again. Snug, 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 snug. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to clean my spark plug, put that back in. I showed you that the before one, how it was, looked like it was a little rich, carboned up. The tip was carboned up. So I'm going to clean it. So what I have here is I have a spark plug cleaner. There's some shot in there, glass shot. And you put the spark plug in the top, connect it to your air compressor, and then come around here. Can you see it better? So there's the result. Looks pretty good, eh? So the gap is supposed to be 30. If you can see that. Anyways, 30. Works good. And once again, on my long extension, I put one piece of that grip tape. So now I can plug that into my spark plug socket. And the grip tape works good. And we just seat that, put the boot back on. And don't forget, we have to put our little breather, our valve cover breather hose back in the intake. So we're checking the steering linkages and the tie rod ends. Tie rod ends seem good. That's the wheel movement movement on the axle. That all looks pretty good. Clean this up just a touch. There's a grease fitting on here, so we'll put a shot of grease in it. And also under here, there's a grease fitting in here that greases the wheel. So with my grease gun, I'm just going to put a couple of shots in here. 1, 2, and clean this fitting off under here. One, two and a bit. So there's that side. So I'll do the same on the other side. If you look underneath the tractor, there's a plate, a gear plate, that the steering wheel attaches to, and that just sort of rubs on the body frame. So I'm going to try and smear a little bit of grease on that, but I'm not going to use wheel bearing grease. I have some white lithium grease I'm going to put on that because it's more waterproof, and because that's out in the open, it'll maybe stick around a little bit longer. Okay, so I'll do that, and then we'll see what's next. Okay, so there's the spur gear that comes from the steering shaft and turns this like rack gear here for the steering. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. And then I have the lithium grease. I'll give a liberal amount, and then between this pinion gear or rack gear and this deck plate, there's nothing in there for lubrication. Oh yeah, I lost my little spray tube. Some spray in there. Something like that. And like that. And like that. Get some on this side. Get up and around there, I think. A good spot for it. A few little squeaks, but I think that's going to be good. And I brushed all that, I wiped all that down good with a rag. And I'll just put, you know, that much. Hope you can see this good. And it says the battery is weak.